Hi guys, welcome back. So we are still looking at financial maths. Now we're going to look at sinking funds and to see exactly what this is all about. Remember, I made an analogy about buying a photocopy machine, having to replace it. The difference between the two prices is what we are talking about. So now we're going to put it into an actual calculation and then see exactly how do we go about to calculate a sinking fund. And how do we then fund the sinking fund? I know it sounds interesting, right? Stay tuned. So remember that we are now looking at sinking funds. And with this sinking fund, I want you to think about how companies save for their assets, right? That depreciate. Because as a company, one of the rules, I think, I don't really have a company, but I'm sure this is what they think about, that if I buy this truck or I buy this car now that needs to transport the employees and the goods of the company, in 5 years' time, this car will be a liability, meaning it would have lost value, it will need us to fix it every now and then, so it means in 5 years, we will need to replace this particular car. But concurrently to buying it, we then do what? We set up a fund to say, in 5 years when I need to replace this, I will not just replace it. I will sell this one that we bought today in 5 years' time, and then the money I get there, I will top it up with what I was putting on a month-to-month basis, and then buy the new car, maybe a bigger car that will now transport bigger goods or more goods or a lot of other people as well. So that's what I'm thinking they think about. And this is what we're really going to be doing here with this particular question. So let's look at a scenario that has to do with company A. Now, there are two ways of calculating the asset's depreciation, right? There is what we call the simple decay, or depreciation, which is also known as straight line depreciation. So this is when the rate at which your assets are depreciating is constant throughout. So this is just a straight line going down like that. It does not fluctuate based on inflation or anything like that. No, it's just going down on the same rate. Then the compound decay or depreciation, this is what we call the reducing balance. This means that, yes, it is decreasing, but it might be decreasing at a lower rate somewhere because of maybe inflation reasons or the prime lending rate that is taking place, how much it is, and all of that. So this is not so much of a straight depreciation. So it is not depreciating at the same rate every year, although the interest rate is the same, but it's not the same in terms of the amount that it takes away. And then we have formulas to this. The formulas, how you can just remember them, it will be simple interest and compound interest, but with a minus, right? That's just how we can say, remember this. It's just a simple interest, but now with a minus, compound interest with a minus. That's how you look at this. But remember, we do give you these formulas in the information sheet. Now, with the concept of sinking fund, as I said, this is a type of fund that is created and set up purposely for repaying debt. This simply means that the owner of the account sets aside a certain amount of money regularly and uses it only for a specific purpose, like replacing or upgrading machinery or equipment that has depreciated over time. Now, Company A purchases a truck for $250,000 now, right? The truck is expected to depreciate at a rate that is 23% per annum. And really, this is something that happens in real life, by the way, because the rate of depreciation, especially for these big machineries, is very, very, very high because you use it for goods that are heavy, so the mechanical part of the truck will be jeopardized after 5 years and all of that. Hence, it is so high. This is on a reducing balance because it cannot be on a straight line because it's the years are not the same with the truck. closer to the time you want to replace it, you might find that it's now too much of a liability than the first 3 years. And then the company is expected to replace the truck after 6 years. So my example here will be for 6 years. The replacement cost of the truck increases by 19% per annum compounded annually. So this is on a year-to-year basis. Now, the first question I want us to look at is we need to calculate the value of the current truck after 6 years. What does this mean? Let me tell you what are the different ways they can ask this. So they can say scrap value. This can be called the scrap value, right? This can be called the book value, or they can just call it the value of the current truck after a certain time. So just if you see those terms, just know they all mean one thing, and that thing is the depreciation that we're talking about. So we will be reading the different questions as we are answering them. Now, what you're going to use is the compound decay in order to calculate this. And these would be the data that I have for this particular question. And for me to then do the calculation, I will say A is equals to P into 1 minus I to the exponent of n. And this will be equals to 250,000 into 1 minus, the I here will be the rate of depreciation, which is 0.23, and this is for 6 years. And therefore, you just go straight to your calculator, and this will be 250,000, 123, into 1 minus 0.23, all raised to the exponent of 6, and this will give me 52,105. So this will be 52,105, and let's quickly just look at the cents, 60 cents. This will be 60 cents because you need to round it off to 2 decimal places, right? Now, look at what is happening here, guys. You bought this thing as a company for 250,000. After 6 years, you can only sell it at 52,000. So the difference in this is more than 180,000. So you can really see that this is a big loss. But because the company knows that the truck will be costing a bit more after the 6 years because of the inflation of 19%, they then also calculate how much the truck will cost, the new truck that they need to buy after the 6 years. So, therefore, they will say A is equals to P into 1 plus I to the exponent of n. Now we are talking about inflation, right? Because it is going up, not going down. Hence, is a plus. So this will be 250,000, 250,000 years into, just remember this is 5 into 1 plus the 0.19 to the exponent of 6. Now, I'm not dividing anything by 12 or anything because they said it's compounded annually, right? So the 19% is for 1 year. The 6 years, every year you get the 19%. So it's not going to be affected by the compounding period. You then also go back to the calculator, 250,000, 123, into 1 plus the 0.19 or 19 rather to the exponent of 6, and this will be 709,940. So 709, 709 and 940,000. Now let's just quickly look at how many cents this will be, 21 cents. Right, so now it really makes sense why companies would do such a thing, that yes, I bought it now. I know it's going to make money for us as a company, but we'll need to replace this thing. When we sell this truck, we're going to get 52,000. These are decisions that are done before or are made before they purchase the truck. When we want to replace it and buy a newer truck, a newer model, it will cost us 709,940. So now this is a lot of money. They will need to set up a fund, and this fund will be now question C. Question C says to us, you use the solution in A and B to calculate the value of the sinking fund. And this sinking fund will be the difference between the B and the A. So the new price, I will say SF, is equals to the new price minus the old price, right? Old price. But in maths, financial maths, we don't really call it the old price. Let's just use the correct terms. We can say this is scrap value, right? Minus the scrap value or minus the book value. That's just what you need to do. So I'm going to go back and just look at my numbers. This is 709,940. So I have 709,940 and I think it was 21 cents minus the book value of ours, which was 52,105. 52,105 and I think it was 60 cents. I will just quickly verify that. Yes. So we are on the right track. And then you just go straight to your calculator and you subtract 709,940, comma 21 minus 52,105,60. And then you find that. So they will need an extra 657,000 a year. This is a lot of money. 657,000 and 834 rands. 834 rands and how many cents? 61 cents. 61 cents. And that will be the sinking fund of this particular company. Meaning, as I just buy the truck today as my company, I will then open simultaneously an investment account. The investment account, I will be paying a month-to-month installment that will accumulate to 657,000 as you saw on the board now, right? Because as a company, as much as we are making a lot of money, there is really no way that in 6 years' time we will have 600 and something thousand just from our revenue in order to just throw into buying this new truck. No, we must be strategic so that we don't then put the company at risk by using all the money that we have as the company. Hence, we set up this monthly thing. But this monthly thing, we're going to calculate it just now after we come back from the quick ad break, which I want us to take now, just to look at what we've done so far. When we come back, we're going to look at how do I then set up this fund and how much must the company pay on a month-to-month basis in order to make up this much money that they need to top up the scrap value. Stay tuned, I'll be back just now.